one day this is going to be a Stanley Cup team. And I remember sitting going, yeah. And he goes, I know you don't believe me now, but I was in Montreal and I was in Boston. I've learned how to put this game plan together. And he said, I've got a lot of pressure on you. You got to grow. You got to stick with it. You got to believe in what I'm telling you, what I'm teaching you. And most importantly, he told me, the people that are going to be around you, you make sure you pay attention to them. The Lee Fogelins, the Dave Drydens. And he brought all the young guys in one by one and told us that. And he told me at 18, he said, one day you're going to be captain of this team lifting the Stanley Cup. And so we had so much respect for Sather because he was like a father to us. He was like a coach. He could be tough on us, yet he'd protect us. And I remember thinking that day, we're going to win the Stanley Cup one day. And so from day one, yeah, I really did believe it was something special. Now, on the ice, probably not until we made the run to get into the Stanley Cup playoffs the first year. I think we had to win 7 out of our last 8. And we got in, played Philadelphia. Here we were in the Philadelphia Spectrum. Game 1, we lost in overtime. We lost Game 3 in double overtime to be eliminated. And Bobby Clark said in the paper after the game, watch out for this team. Someday it's going to be something special. Well, off the ice, the commitment to winning, the sincerity and pushing and pulling and respecting each other as teammates and friends, the leadership that we had off the ice from players like Lee Fogelin and Dave Dryden and the guys who were a big part of the beginning of the success of that franchise. On the ice, what made it special was Glenn knew what kind of player he wanted, and that's who he wanted the scouts to draft. That's who they wanted to trade for. And he was going to play a style or a system that was going to be sort of some emblematic to the 50s of the Montreal Canadiens. We're going to go and we're going to score. We're going to win 8-7. We're going to win 7-6. This is going to be the most exciting team in hockey. So we waltzed right through the entire year, and I don't even know in those days if they called it the President's Trophy, but I believe we got first overall. And of course, we all thought, you know, just where's the Stanley Cup parade and order the rings and everything that goes with that. And we get beat by Los Angeles in 5 games, and we lose the 5th game at home, 7-4. It wasn't really even close. It seemed like from that period of time to the Stanley Cup final the next year against the Islanders, when we got beat 4 straight, we got to the final. It seemed like such a long time. So when we got beat 4 straight by the Islanders, and as everyone knows the story of Kevin and I, you know, walking by the Islander room thinking, oh gosh, the celebration, we got to hear it. And when we walked by, the story of, you know, they were too tired to celebrate. They were icing down. Trottier couldn't move, and Bossy was icing his knees. And that's when we said, that's what it takes to be a Stanley Cup champion. We didn't know. We didn't realize. So when we got to that day, and we were up 3-1, and we had said to ourselves all year, we are going to make that commitment. We are going to feel what it's like to win the Stanley Cup because we're going to pay the price to win it. So that moment when Kevin and I and Mark got to go out there and they handed me the Stanley Cup and we got to grab the cup, I don't think there's any feeling ever like it. I mean, it was the greatest feeling I've ever had in hockey.